Hi, okay, and the second part of the training is exploring common emotions. So we usually have anger, happiness, shame and guilt, fear, sadness, jealousy, and envy. So let's go on to feeling of being angry. So the feeling of being angry actually helps you set boundaries. It protects your sense of self. It takes your stand in the world. At times we need to be angry so that we can be heard, or if we fight for justice. At times we need to be angry so that people will know that we are serious of our stand. Now the next is about the feeling of fear. um, this feeling actually arises when there is change occurring, or we need to orient ourselves to something, or when we need to take action to avoid harm or injury. Okay, so the feeling of fear actually requires us that we check in and figure out what we are being alerted to. So we have to ask ourselves, what action should be taken, or what should I do? So answering these questions help us address our feeling of fear. Now, for the next feeling is the feeling of happiness. This is actually a lovely rest stop and a lovely emotion, but it's not the only emotion we need. If we treat our happiness as our go-to emotion, we will actually suffer unnecessarily when other emotions arise. Example, if we feel sadness, it doesn't mean that the world is really, really heavy and we are unlucky. Because sadness actually is a wonderful emotion that helps us let go of things that aren't working anyway. So why hold on to things which aren't working, right? So question should be, what must be released or what must be rejuvenated when we feel sad? So it helps us actually to move on and change. Now, we also have the feeling of shame and guilt. So, if you're guilty and you want to know what to do about the fact of your guilt, then you've got to learn to work with the information shame brings you. Shame is actually a natural emotional consequence of guilt and wrongdoing. If you don't know that and don't welcome our authentic shame, we'll be unable to moderate our own behavior. And we will continually do the things we know are wrong. So you notice those we say people who are shameless, who are guiltless, they are not open to change. They don't want to improve or do better because they no longer feel shame for what they're doing. Now, we have the feeling of jealousy and envy. Okay, the feeling of jealousy and envy arises. So, jealousy actually arises in response to unfaithfulness or deceit in an intimate relationship. Envy arises in response to unfair distribution of resources or recognition. So, these feelings are actually contain a mixture of boundary protecting anger. They exist to help us set or restore lost boundaries. They contribute to tremendous stability to our personality and our relationships. In cases where we know how to handle jealousy and envy, and makes us change for the better so that we can secure the boundaries that we want for ourselves. Now, for our emotional literacy, we actually need some words aside from writing, describing our feelings from 0 to 10 scale. It actually helps us to really know the vocabulary. So there is actually some lists in the internet. You can check for them for other words that may help you appropriately describe your feelings, because they help us widen our emotional vocabulary. The words also help us express ourselves more fully, or we can also make use of them to write our experiences in our journal, or even provide empathy by helping others label their emotions. So we can help others identify their emotions, and we can also help them address or feel those needs. So that would be all actually for my training. Emotional literacy. I had here emoticons that we use in our messenger. So though these are just a little of what we describe of how we feel, since writing is actually there is no tone to it. So and also I have here references of the articles I have read where I took the information for